Hello? Oh, hey, Jeff. I'm about to go on the halftime show here, so. A roll cue? Well, I mean, I have mixed feelings about it, but I think overall everybody kind of likes it. Our community tournament, well, it's going well. I mean, we're in season 3, and. Oh, you've been watching us. What do you think? Thanks, man. We're trying to put on a good show here. I mean, it's all for fun. Who's your favorite team so far? Oh, wow, that's a bold choice. You want to buy their shirt? Oh, sure thing. Just go to shop.spreadshirt.com/OWTranquility, and you can use promo code anything20 to get 20% off tomorrow and Thursday. You found that shirt already, huh? That shirt with my head on it? Yeah, you're gonna get that one. Wait, you're gonna order how many? For the whole department? Jeff, I don't know what to say. I remember that time I saved your life, but I told you didn't have to. Okay, I appreciate that, Jeff. Anyway, listen, I gotta get back to the halftime show, but I'm gonna see you here in Dallas, right? For Overwatch League Season 3 opening weekend? Right, alright, dude. I'll see you then. Alright, bye-bye.
Experience tranquility.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Iris Podcast. Sorry, I ran the wrong commercial. Really, more apologies to NPC folks because he put together 2 of them, and I'm only showing you 1 because I am that scuffed, apparently. So, hello, everyone. Can somebody ban Mouth, please? Welcome to the Iris Podcast. Joining me, as always, is NPC Specs and Ensol. We're excited to bring you a Week 5 recap here, and we're going to jump right in because we have a very, very loaded day today. We are going to start off with recapping the Tuesday feature match this week, which was the Undead Batteries taking on Jetpack Cats, and it was a Jetpack Cats 4-0. Fairly dominant performance in a lot of the maps by Jetpack Cats, but I will say it was definitely a show up or a kind of a display of how good Climate is on DPS. I think Undead Batteries is a team that has definitely come a long way since the beginning of the season, obviously with losing their captain and doing actually continue to improve with the tank line. The tank line improvement with Impers and Kuchikopi has been really strong, but Climate to me is the standout on that team. His Pharah play is outstanding. He's showing up on other DPS as well, with Crimson and Climate on that DPS line. Crimson, by the way, has been outstanding so far this season, continues to improve. I expect to see continued improvement through him and throughout the season, but the Batteries still struggling right now to really get to exactly where they need to be. Jetpack Cat's looking really strong. Melts is doing incredibly, despite the fact that he's trying to troll me by telling me my mic is muted when I know it's not. Upsetting and O are insane as well. What really stands out to me right now for the Jetpack Cats is the continued improved play of their tank line. Boot and Blue, or Reboot and Blue, have looked incredible lately. The two of them have absolutely shined on that tank lane, and that's made a big difference for that team. They look a lot more polished. Their engagements are a lot cleaner. I expect big things from the Jetpack Cats moving forward. NPC, any thoughts from your battery boys?
Yeah, no, Jetpack Cats were definitely solid. I mean, you could tell that they played together a long time. I mean, Melts was definitely the focus of our attention, and maybe he shouldn't have been. I mean, it's possible we could have just let Melts do what Melts is going to do while we cleaned up the rest. But it was a good game. It was a fun game to watch. I mean, the 4-0, it happens. Jetpack Cats are just clearly a good team. We got a really good DPS lineup. And we've got really good supports, and we've got good tanks. We're improving every day. But I feel like Jetpack Cats, they won that fair and square.
Any other thoughts, boys?
No, I think you guys put it best. Jetpack has continued to improve.
All right, now we do have the other feature match for the week here, and that was the Sunday feature match. NPC did some commentary on that, and that was between Sugar Rush and Infius Gaming.
Yeah, so Cinnamon was actually supposed to do the casting, but at the very last minute, she came down with a migraine, I believe. And so I decided to step in with Booth, who was also kind of unaware that he had been volunteered for that position at the very last minute. So we had a good time, though. I'm not going to lie. Tough Luck and Aimbots were playing at the exact same time. And I kind of thought maybe we picked the wrong match to feature, but after it was over, I'm just so glad we got to see this one. Okay. Aimbots was running into some technical issues and storm issues and stuff like that. So that was a very one-sided game on that side. But after watching Infius showed up. I mean, we don't talk about him a lot on the podcast, but Trumu on tank and Sorcery on DPS, that was just huge. I mean, they had some amazing plays, and the first two maps went Infius straight away. I really thought it was going to be a very one-sided affair, but I guess over halftime it looked like Nerdables must have done something to that team in halftime, and he slapped some sense into him because Sugar Rush came back and completed the reverse sweep. So you love to see the map 5, you love to see a reverse sweep. Everybody loves the underdog. Sugar Rush were running the 6-man team all night, the same 6 people, and it took a little while for them to find their groove, but once they did, it really helped them out. Turns out that Sidereal must have been listening to a halftime show a few weeks ago when Sacred Walrus told him to play more Moira, because he did show up big last night on Moira. Sugar Rush ran very unconventional Orisa D.Va comp. I'd like to see Kara play a little more Roadhog because it's just a little bit more meta, but it looks like they managed to make D.Va work. I talked to Light Rose a little bit after the game, tried to commiserate with him a little bit about being stuck in Orisa jail, but turns out that guy, he's a monster and actually enjoys playing Orisa. So this meta is definitely going to be his time to shine.
Definitely would agree with all of that. I don't think there's a question. Any other thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, I think at first Sugar Rush definitely looked a little scatterbrained there. Once they were able to figure out the Sigma Diva and the Orisa Diva, I think it really came together. And like you said, Sidereal and the Moira was great. Heard he had a pretty good coach from a certain other team in the league about that. But I think they're starting to come together. They're looking pretty good, but they have a tough schedule ahead here.
Yeah, I think the upcoming weeks are going to be where Sugar Rush is going to show us, are they the top team that at least I think they can be. But other than that, I mean, it was a really good game. I'm really excited.
All right, let's move on here now, guys. We did have a lot of other matches going on during the week. Let's go through the Harmony tier first. Pardon me. And the Harmony tier, interestingly, first time I've ever seen this, entirely 4-0s. There was not a single map loss by whomever won the match. Careless Panda's got the 4-0 win with the bye. Minty Hippo's got a 4-0 win over Pacified Pythons. Maelstrom got a 4-0 win over Spare Change. Vitamin C, 4-0 win over Karma. Jetpack Cats, obviously we talked about that, 4-0 win versus Batteries. Holy Jalapeno's got a Comet's Forfeit, 4-0. DDoS, 4-0 over Boop. And Illusion, 4-0 over the Fighting Potatoes. It was the 4 Overwatch fest in the Harmony tier, guys. The Discord tier was a little bit of a different situation. Tough Luck did get a 4-0, another 4-0, over the Aimbots. They did have some technical problems for the Aimbots, but Tough Luck definitely showed up to play that match for sure. Sugar Rush, obviously, we talked about the 3-2. One Last Ride picked up a big 3-2 win over Instalock. Renovadio, also another huge 3-2 win over Prodigious. Then we have Otaku picking up another win here with their revamped roster, 3-1 over Harmony and Chaos, who is still looking for their first victory. Commit continues their dominating play, and they took another 4-0 victory. This one over Alta 4. And then our final two matches here, Invictus gets the bye victory, and then Meteors takes a 3-0-1 victory over Eclipse. So there's a lot going on this week here, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this.
I mean, I think the biggest surprise to me was Illusion 4-0 Fighting Potatoes. I feel like Fighting Potatoes, they've made a lot of strides to improve. They were missing their primary DPS Gamstry, so I can see why they might have been a little bit weaker than if they had been at full strength. But honestly, I mean, Illusion's a good team, but the Fighting Potatoes are also a pretty good team. And getting that 4-0, it just didn't seem like. The same thing happened to Illusion last week. It just wasn't their night. They just didn't show up, and that was the biggest surprise for me.
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest surprise is just how dominant Maelstrom look. They look absolutely solid in that Harmony tier right now. It's going to be very hard for them to stop. Their tank line, their support line, the synergy between those two is incredible, and really impressed with what those guys are doing over there.
I think the biggest surprise for me was the Karma versus Vitamin C game. I at least expected that. I expected Vitamin C to win, but I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. Things happen. I think Karma's going to bounce back, no problem.
So did we. I think the biggest surprise, honestly, is going into the Discord tier. I was really impressed with the show that Envious Gaming put on this week. I think Envious has had a tough start to the season, but I think last night they kind of showed what they're capable of, and I think it's a team that we could probably pay a little bit more attention to moving forward here. They were really struggling to find their mojo. The other one is Harmony and Chaos. Harmony and Chaos is 0-5 right now. That's kind of insane to imagine, given they were, I believe, 11-4 or 12-3 last season. Great team last season, just really struggling to find their footing. But if you pay attention to who they've been playing and how closely they've been playing them, they have a 2-1 loss to One Last Ride. One Last Ride looks to be a very good team in the Discord tier. They have a 3-2 loss to Tough Luck. Again, good looking team for the Discord tier. They have a tough loss to Instalock. Instalock really finding their mojo right now. Looks to be a team that's going to be a team to watch moving forward here. Otaku with their newly revamped roster. And by the way, Harmony hasn't even had their full DPS contingent on hand. They've had to use subs for the past few weeks. So I look to Harmony and Chaos right now as a team that, they're 0-5. I don't expect to see them in the cellar for much longer, though, guys. This is still a team to watch and still a team to pay attention to. So lots of exciting stuff here in this week here. I would like to now show you some of the plays that were sent in for the week 5 matches. At least I hope it is. I got the wrong video the last time. It'll be the wrong video this time. Who knows? thanks for submitting your plays, guys. Make sure you continue to get those to me. Just submit them in the highlight montage submissions channel in the Discord after your weekly matches. I appreciate those of you who have done it, making the editing work a little bit more intense, having to put out these montages, but I definitely enjoy giving the opportunity to showcase you guys and your talents on the podcast here. That being said, let's go ahead and move on now to the weekly power rankings. We are going to start off in the Discord tier. We do have Commit coming in at number 1 right now, as expected. Really, the only change of note is aimbots. And by the way, this, for the record, these were posted, or these were finished prior to the results from last night, when aimbots dropped to Tough Luck. So I will say that's why this is currently reflecting this. I think if the Tough Luck results came in beforehand, there might be some different things here. I think we can all agree on that. Right?
Yeah.
Not a slight on aimbots for sure, but One Last Ride's record is also scuffed. They are 4-1. But guys, any thoughts here on the power rankings? Anything of note?
I honestly, I mean, I agree with this list. I think Sugar Rush needs to move down a little bit. They did get that win last night against Infius, but I feel like it took them a very long time to find their footing, and until they start playing some Marissa Hogg, I don't see them going much higher than like 7 or 8.
Yeah, definitely gonna agree with that. I think Tough Luck should be a little bit higher. I think One Last Ride should be that in that top 3 though as well. And then Prodigious too. That I know they're 3-2, but just a very similar team that I just don't know if they're a top 7 team right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's having Tough Luck probably be in that second spot, One Last Ride being in that third, and then the rest kind of just sorting itself out. Like I think Sugar Rush is fine in 6th. I think Prodigious is fine where they are right now. I think everything else is.
I think Sugar Rush gets a bad rap because they didn't play on the schedule, guys. Just saying. They've won the matches they're supposed to win, which is good. That's what good teams do. I don't think Sugar Rush is a bad team. I will say that I do have concerns, but I think as long as they have Guac and Lays doing as well as they are, it doesn't matter. It's really good. I think the one thing that stands out to me is I actually, it's something that we can't see now, but I'm really curious to see how things pan out once the aimbot's Tough Luck result came in. I think that's going to adjust how people view the top of the Discord tier. I also think I do think that Invictus is a little overranked right now. I think Invictus probably around 10. I'd put Renovadio above them right now. I think Invictus is going to really struggle with the change in meta. I think that's my biggest concern with Invictus right now. Grizz is obviously a very talented Wrecking Ball. We've seen that. But I'm a little concerned about Wrecking Ball's place in this current meta, and I think there might be some struggle there. That being said, it'll be all of our banter really doesn't matter in the end because it all comes down to how the matches are played out. So we're gonna move now over to the Harmony tier, and the Harmony tier has Maelstrom again at the top, Vitamin C now solidly in 2nd, Illusion in 3rd, Karma in 4th, Jetpack Cats in 5th, Holy Jalapenos in 6th, Careless Pandas 7th, Minty Hippos in 8th, DDoS in 9th, and the Fighting Potatoes make their power rankings debut in 10th. Any interesting thoughts from here, you guys?
I like seeing the potatoes on there. I'm a potato believer, and I feel like they deserve to be up there. That's true. I think Vitamin C, they did get the win. They are 5-0. I just feel like they're high. I feel like they're a little too high. When I've seen them play, they've got some very good, solid, scripted plays. But I feel like those plays are going to be predictable, and some teams are going to figure them out. So I feel like they're a little high. Other than that, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think Jalapenos is a little bit low for me, to be honest. I think they're in the top 5. I think Minty Hippos, I want to say I wish they could be higher, but just looking at the teams in front of them, I don't know if I can put them there yet. I think the number 9 and 10 spots are surprising to me a little bit, but again, I don't know who I would put there above them.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Specs. Jalapeno should be in the top 5 for sure. The interesting thing to note is, I mean, the Potatoes are in the top 10 with a 2-3 record. They're a great team. It's just trying to think of what other team I would put there instead. I can't right now. I think Vitamin C is fine where they are in second. Like I don't know what other team you would put in second right now. I don't think we deserve to be second. I don't think Potatoes or not Potatoes, but the Jetpack Cats deserve second or anything like that. Like it's hard to say, but I think Vitamin C is fine there.
I think the team that stands out to me, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think Maelstrom's a little bit overrated right now. I really like what they've been doing, but I don't think they're better than Vitamin C right now. I don't think they're actually better than Jetpack Cats right now. I don't think they're better than Illusion right now. I don't think they're better than the Holy Jalapenos right now. The thing that Maelstrom has done really well at winning the matches that they should, but some of them have been unreasonably close. Like, the top team in the community should not be going to map 5 against the Potatoes. Not a shot on the Potatoes, it's just a simple fact. The Potatoes are mid to low tier in the Harmony tier. You shouldn't be going to map 5 against them. And I have serious concerns about their ability to close out games. I think Vitamin C is the top team in the tier right now, and I don't think it's even close. So, Careless Pandas being ranked 7th. I'm going to go ahead and say as well, I think Careless Pandas is going to settle in right in the middle of the top 10. I'm a little concerned about how they've adjusted since the changes have happened after the incident at the beginning of the season. Dim Ryan is obviously just an absolute hard carry animal beast for that team. But it'll be interesting to see how they pan out with the rest of the season here. I think a lot of people still look at them and say, "Oh, they should be 5-0." Well, yeah, well, it shouldn't be. That's what happens when you have a Smurf on your team. I think their team in general is struggling with some of the changes here, but I still think they're going to be a good team. They did get 3-2 against Spare Change, and Spare Change is a lower tier team in the Harmony tier. So I think that's kind of a telling sign of what we're seeing from Carol's Pandas right now. So, anyways, moving on. Power rankings, very interesting, guys. Thanks for the people who have been submitting those. We're going to move now into a new segment this week, and that segment is something called Mount Rushmore. So the way this works is it's basically us picking 4 players to be, or 4 people on our Mount Rushmore, per se, of the community in various categories. We have 3 different categories that we do, and the way this works is actually a snake draft, so we can't have any duplicates. So in this first one here, the first one we picked is actually teams to watch, and the reason we went with this is we wanted to go with teams who were outside of the top 3 in standings. And who are these teams to watch the remainder of the season? Who are the people that you're like, hey, this team is still looking really strong, pay attention to them, guys, they're not a bad team. Now, when we did this, we did have top 3s already defined. So the top 3 that we defined initially were, for the Harmony tier, was Maelstrom, Vitamin C, and Illusion. And then the Discord tier, the top 3 teams were defined as Meteors, Commit, and Aimbots. Obviously, that's different now with the results we got on Sunday night, but that's how this draft was initially planned out, was with Aimbots being in that top 3 initially. So be aware of that, guys. There's a reason why you're going to see a couple of teams on here that maybe shouldn't be on this list. But anyways, so the first 2 rounds are in the Discord tier. Second 2 rounds are in the Harmony tier. We're looking first at the teams to watch. NPC, you had first pick.
My first pick was DDoS. I feel like the time for them rebuilding is over. I mean, Specs isn't going to talk about them. Nobody else is going to talk about them. I think it's time to watch them because they've I'm not going to lie, they've been a little garbage, but they've built some synergy around the players they do have. They've added a couple of really good picks. I think this is the time for DDoS to start making progress, and I think they're going to show up.
Specs.
Yeah, so I went with Holy Jalapenos. Very impressed with what they've been doing the past couple weeks. Their play is coming together, and they're really starting to show that kind of synergy and that overall individual skill that I think we knew they had at the beginning here. I think with them coming together and their team synergy, especially with that DPS line, they can really contend with any of the upper tier teams there.
Nick, you had next pick.
I had the Jetpack Cats for my first pick in this one. I think they've showed it the last 4 weeks why they're a team to watch. They have just such a dangerous lineup. Melts on the DPS. Just everyone on that team is just really performing really, really well. And I think they're definitely they're definitely gunning for top 3 in the community right now in Harmony.
So the snake draft. So I have 2 picks now. I went with Minty Hippos for my first pick. I think Minty Hippos are a very sneaky team right now. I think the play of Klaus on that team is low key. Like, if Minty Hippos gets going here, like, potential MVP candidate worthy. Like, he's incredible. Maxi's been quite good on that team as well. And another player who nobody's really talking about is Quick. Their captain. Really good. Really good. Especially if Widowmaker comes back into the meta quite strongly. Watch out for them. They'll be very good. Next pick here, again, it's on the snake, so we're gonna go back around the circle again. But me first is me with Fighting Potatoes. I picked Fighting Potatoes here. The Fighting Potatoes were we talked about them a little bit. They're kind of in the meme team, the meme dream, the past 2 seasons. I think there's a lot to watch, and it's specifically because of the DPS duo of Gamstri and Kai. Kai really showed up in the week 4 feature match with Boop. I expect to see that DPS tandem shine. They've taken some very talented teams to map 5s already. They took Jetpack Cats to map 5 in one of their losses, and they took Maelstrom to map 5 in one of their losses. Let's put it this way, guys. They are 2 map 5 victories away from being 4-1. Where they're literally that close to being talked about as one of the top teams in the Harmony tier. So keep that in mind when you're talking about the potatoes. Don't take those spuds lightly. Nick, back to you.
My second pick was Careless Pandas. I mean, it's the Careless Pandas. We're not gonna pretend that they don't deserve to be higher than they are right now. Unfortunate situations given them those 2 losses, but yeah, they're struggling. I find they're struggling a little bit right now. They're not as dominant as they were coming into the season, but it's still a great team. Players like Dim Ryan on there. I mean, how can you not properly prepare for a team like that?
Specs.
Yeah, so next team I went with was Karma. I really, really, really like their support line of Cryogenics and Guava. I think it's the best support line in the tier, to be completely honest. That support line is a great backbone, and having land as well on the DPS is scary. Hands down, one of the best aimers in the community. Tank line, their tank line's their tank line. But other than that, I really see some big things for this team, and can see them. I mean, they're talked about as one of the top teams in this tier, and there's a reason why.
NPC.
Yeah, I can agree with that. My last pick for the Harmony tier was Comets. I don't want to say too much here, okay? But they kept their core really strong. They got Gil, they got Kitty, they got a couple others that they kept. But they're gonna bounce back as a team with a lot of positive energy. Win or lose, I think this team is just they're here to have a good time, and having a good time is how you win games. You play better when you're not tilted. You play better when you're having a good time, and I think the Comets are going to do that.
Back through the snake now. We're going to the Discord tier. NPC first.
All right, my first pick for the Discord tier, once again, Otaku. Okay, I work in IT. Okay, sometimes a full reboot is all it takes to solve all your problems. Okay, and I think that's exactly what Otaku has done here. They've cleaned house, and now they've got a whole new roster, and nobody knows what to expect. Okay, they're a team I'm going to keep an eye on because they're coming out all new.
Back to Specs.
Yeah, this pick is definitely not skewed because of who we playing them this week, but I had one last ride. I really think I'd put them at number 2 right now, just based off the wins that they have. They're a team that very much has impressed me. I think their DPS play is pretty solid. I think they're able to be very flexible with what they need to do, and they're able to come together as a team. They have a lot of synergy. They've played together before. It's a team that in spite of what their SR might be locked in at, I think they're a very solid team that can push for a top 3 finish in this tier.
All right, Nick, what do you think?
My pick for the Discord tier, I mean, at the time that we were doing this was Tough Luck. It was odd to see them where they were. But I mean, it's Tough Luck. We look at the players they have. We look at what they've done so far this season. Top 2 behind Commit. And I think they can definitely easily give Commit a run for their money. But Tough Luck was just the easy pick in this one.
All right, and then now to me here. Honestly, for me, I had 2 picks in a row here. I went with Sugar Rush. I know we kind of talked about them, some concerns about their team before, but again, any team with Lays and Guac on their team is going to be amazing. For me, that team continues to be whether or not their tank line gets their situation sorted out. I know Light Rose isn't a huge fan of the meta shaping up right now. Excuse me. But at the same time, you got to deal with that and move on. I need to see Light Rose really step up and really, really do an amazing job on that main tank role in order for that team to do well. They have Nerdables coaching them as well. Nerdables is an insane coach. We know this. I don't see how that team could possibly be a team to overlook moving forward. It would be silly to do so. The next one here is Prodigious. Same reason. Kaizen and Top are absolutely nutty. Kaizen basically threw Prodigious on his back against Meteors. Not to diminish anything the rest of the team did, but Kaizen is insane. And with Kaizen on that team, Prodigious is always going to be it. Pass back to Nick.
Yeah, my pick was Instalock. Give credit where credit's due. They're up and coming right now. They have some really insane players. Kuna is nutty. Marf on that team as well. He's insane. They had a slow start. They fixed their issues and they're coming back strong. I think they're a team definitely to look out.
Back to you, Specs.
Yeah, so next team I picked here was Renovadio. Looking at their roster, when you look at their breakdown of SR, they invested heavy into their DPS, and I think it's really showing. It was a little difficult at the start of the season when we really weren't sure what the state of the meta was, and DPS were kind of having to play a bunch of things. They have 3 DPS players in Progress, DC, and Forsaken that are very, very solid. And seeing them from week to week, how they're improving as a DPS line and what it's allowing the rest of their team to do, that's been very, very solid. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do the rest of the season.
And last but not least, NPC.
Yeah. In case you haven't figured it out, I like to pick the underdogs, so I'm picking Eclipse. There's a lot of big names on this team. They got Cryptic Force, they got Red Gear, they got Sleepy, they got @Dimtree in the chat. I'm surprised that it's taken them this long to come together as a team. Okay, I'm confident they can start getting wins soon. They just need to play together, and I think the longer they're together, the stronger they're going to be. So I feel like Eclipse is about to make their comeback sometime soon.
All right, so that is the end of the Mount Rushmore for end of Mount Rushmore for the teams to watch. Just recapping for everyone here, very, very beautiful high-tech graphic. NPC had DDoS, Comets, Otaku, and Eclipse. I had Minty Hippos, Fighting Potatoes, Sugar Rush, and Prodigious. Nick had Jetpack Cats, Careless Pandas, Tough Luck, and Instalock, and Specs with Holy Jalapenos, Karma, One Last Ride, and Renovadio. That is the look at the teams to watch this season. Our next category here is community contributors. We could obviously sit here and talk about the spice, guys. Specs, tell us about the spice. You like spice, don't you? Say something spicy.
Where do I want to go with this? Alt F4 won't win a game the rest of the season.
There we go. That's spicy, guys.
That's what you came to hear.
That's what you came to hear. You're all here for that. Let's be real. But really, it's less about the spice now, guys. It's more about just talking about the people who make the community tick. Tranquility is much more than just the admins. It's much more than just a podcast. It is a community of a ton of people coming together to make something bigger than what it really actually is. That's what's awesome about Tranquility. So we went around the circle and we did a Mount Rushmore of community contributors. Again, this is not admins or mods. So I'm not eligible. NPC's not eligible. People like Cav and Thuggington are not eligible. Zuby's not eligible. But we're going to start at the top over here. Specs, you had first pick.
Yeah, so an individual that's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, especially with the Twitch stuff going on, has been Juke. He's been absolutely incredible with everything he's been doing. He's been putting together, casting lists, helping us stay organized with what we're doing, with producing and pretty much everything that the Twitch is doing. Juke has a hand in. Without him, to be completely honest, I don't know where the state of the Twitch and the community would be, to be completely honest.
And Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, so one thing that I think it was you, Yeti, that mentioned when we were talking about it was we're looking for people who are here, who are engaged, who are part of the community actively, and that's something that I was also looking for, not just someone who contributes to the Twitch team or one thing in particular, but I think Melts for me is someone who's always active in the server, who always engages in conversations with other members, takes parts in the activities or the events that we host. And for me, that's something huge for a community like this.
I had a next pick here, and I went with Specs. No, I went with Specs not only for the podcast work, but also stepping up to handle casting jobs in the past. Has offered to do some graphics work for us. In general, just is one of the more active people in the Discord. And obviously, him taking all the spice means more people paying less attention to when I say things that offend people. So I always appreciate that as well. NPC, go ahead.
My pick was Impers. I feel like, I mean, he's putting in a lot of effort into those comms videos, getting people, watching the streams, clipping, funny comms videos and putting things together. He's also, he contributes a lot in general chat. He contributes a lot pretty much all over the place. So he was an easy pick for me. And then I think I had a second pick because we're going to snake back around the opposite direction. So it's going to be me, Yeti, Nick, and then Specs. So my second pick here is Big Marf, my Big Marf. He's your Big Marf too. The guy's all over the place. Okay, he's in my Twitch chat. He's in the Tranquility Twitch chat. He's in games. He's in pugs. He's everywhere. He's played on a couple of teams and still friends with everybody. He brings out the spice. He has his own little spicy show. It's kind of like this one, but a little bit more. And I feel like he brings a lot to the community as a whole. For somebody new, he's right up there.
I went the other half of the non-admin podcast duo with mine, and I went with Nick. Nick's been active in the community for 3 years now, 3 seasons, and has been an integral piece of pretty much everything we've done. So whether it's part of the Twitch efforts, whether it's part of the podcast, all that stuff, plus leading the Illusion Invictus crew with Booth. Yeah, it's been good. Now it's your turn, Nick.
It's weird to hear praise from you on the podcast. Can I just say that?
Your team's losing this week. There, is that better now? Now that I said that, okay.
There's.
You're welcome. Sorry, I had to get that out. I had an itch.
My second pick for community contributor is Cinnamon from Jetpack Cats. Captaining that team, huge positive mental attitude, just positive all around, just huge bundle of energy, it seems. And she's stepping up her efforts to help us with the Twitch streams. So I mean that's huge for us because it's been something where we've been needing help, and to have someone step up like that is something not to ignore.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I had the double here. First pick I went with was Red Gear. The amount of graphics work that he's done for the community, putting things together for the Twitch streams, whether it's the graphics for the podcast here, graphics for just teams in general. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that he's doing that I'm really impressed with and really makes the community tick. And then going on for my third pick here, I went with Nerdables. He's an incredible coach. Has been around from season 1. Active in the community, even though he's not playing at this point. He started his own Discord server. I'll pimp that a little bit for coaching. He's really there to help everyone get better at the game, and someone that just is generally a good person. And I love having people like him in the community.
NPC, or actually no,
Nick.
Sorry.
Yeah. So my last pick was Triage.
Oh, you missed one. You missed Gios.
Oh, Gios. I'm sorry, Gios. Again, someone who's active in the server with everyone, engages everyone, helping us out immensely with the Twitch team. I don't know where the Twitch team would be kind of without Gios, just like we would be without Jeek right now.
Definitely the most active Twitch mod too. I went with Kingdom for mine. Kingdom, again, been around since season 1. Huge part of the Twitch team in season 2. Did work also with the podcast. Has been a active captain in the community now for 2 seasons. Just one of the leaders who runs pugs all the time. When Kingdom's around, you recognize his voice. He's hard to miss. So Kingdom, the Tranquility community would not be the same without you. NPC, you had the double.
That's right. I had to pick another person that the Tranquility community would not be the same without, and that is Mighty Bear himself, Cryptic Force. We don't allow him to cast anymore on the Twitch channel. If you haven't seen it, it's he goes full force. But anyway, even though we don't actually get to hear his voice often, we still feel his presence. He's always in the memes, and you know what? I mean, he's always around. Half of my interactions with Cryptic Force are just I'm going about my day, and all of a sudden I get a DM from Cryptic Force that's a meme about an NFL team I don't even care about. I just out of nowhere, he's just like, you know what, NPC needs to see this. I'm like, okay, thanks, dude. You know, cool. But he's always around. He's always doing things. It's just a really positive guy. I like him a lot.
Such a good dude.
Yeah, one of my second pick here on the way back. My last pick is Cool Sam. Cool Sam has been around just this season, but he's playing for the Meteors. He's playing and he's always around in the chat. He's always participating there. He's been with me on the halftime show. He's been everywhere. I like that guy a lot, so I put him down.
Cryptic Force is also the inspiration behind the Iris podcast, just to make that very clear here. So moving on now, my last pick here was Crispy, despite the fact that I think he hates me now for making the statements I did about Maelstrom earlier today. I think Crispy has, especially this season, stepped up. He's done a lot of the web work for us now, stepping into that role this season. Really kind of overhauling some of the steps that we take to that to make it a little bit more polished. And he's definitely one of the most active people in the Discord. So despite the fact that I think he hates me now, I still want to shout him out because Nick, we're never going to guess who you pick next.
Spoiler alert, it's Triage. For me, picking Triage was along the same reasons as why I picked Melts. He's someone who's very active. He's engaged in the community as well, conversations with everyone. And of course participates in the events like the Widow 1v1s. So that's part of what the community is. It's not just coming up, showing up to games. It's being active with everyone.
And Specs, wrap it up here.
Yeah, I figured might as well go with another guy that enjoys, helping others in the community get better, even though I am a better main tank than him. I went with HQC. Just towards the end of last season especially, he was really going through and helping individuals coach their gameplay and making sure they're getting better. And he has he's active in the community, even though English isn't his native language. He's done the last couple seasons and continues to do on an individual level for his team. I think it's something that's very admirable.
All right, so that's the end of the community contributors, guys. Again, High Tech Graphics Inc. We NPC with Impers, My Big Marv, Cool Cryptic Force, and Cool Sam. I picked Specs, Nixall, Kingdom, and Crispy. Nick picked Melts, Cinnamon, Gios, and Triage, and Specs with Juke, Red Gear, Nerdables, and HQC. All right. Yeah. Next on the list here, and our final one of the day is Best Brands. Now, this was kind of a loaded thing here, but the way we wanted to look at it is not just like best teams, best logos, best org. There's a lot to it. What's the best brand? What's behind the brand of that team? Do they have traditions? Do they have a legacy? Do they have just a cool logo and just a really cool name and a cool identity? Like, is this somebody you want to get behind? We wanted to go with the best brands. Now, brands do include the fact that we do have affiliated teams. So there are teams that will be selected here who are affiliates. They're kind of all in the same brand together. So you might hear about that as we go along here. Nick had the first pick in the best brands.
Yeah, my first pick was the Karma and Tough Luck brand. For me, it's the spice that Karma brings on their social media page that makes them one of the top brands. I also like I kind of found, or it might just be me, but there's a correlation between Karma and Tough Luck, which kind of added to the fact that it's one of the better brands in terms of how they name the teams.
I think his mic. Oh, I think he was done anyway.
No, I was done.
Okay. I wasn't sure there.
I was just waiting.
I had next pick here, guys. I went with the Harmony and Chaos and Fighting Potatoes. This is the same brand, same affiliates, guys. And can I just say what a loaded brand it is? not only do you get Harmony and Chaos, teams that one of the original OG teams for the community is in fact the OG team. You also get Fighting Potatoes, the second team to join the community. Literally the two first teams to join the community here, guys. Not only on top of that, Harmony and Chaos has been around as an entity for, I believe, a decade?
Around that.
Going back to World of Warcraft. Like, that brand has been around forever. And then on top of that, now you have Fighting Potatoes, which a lot of people love the potatoes. Face it, one of the best groups of people around here and the best logos in the whole community. Combine the two of them, that is insane. That's an original Ski Free Yeti right there, isn't it?
It is.
All right. Now go to you, NPC.
I picked the Meteor's Comets. Primarily, just their brand is the synergy. It was intended to be that way. When we decided on the Harmony tier and the Discord tier, they knew exactly what to do. They knew, they were like, okay, we got a Meteors and we got a Comets, and the teams are good. The teams are solid. They've got good branding. They've got good resources. They seem to be the perfect affiliates because they kind of formed together instead of two separate teams that kind of just joined up together later. They were formed together, and that makes them the perfect brand.
Specs, you got the end of the snake.
Yeah, so I went with the first team that didn't have an affiliate. I went with Maelstrom. Let's just be completely honest. That GIF they have is fantastic.
Can you link it in the general Discord, please, Triage? Thanks.
Yeah. Just that logo and that brand alone is just fantastic. Everything they've kind of done, I don't want to say rebranding themselves from last year because I know how much they hate that. But they changed a lot around in the past 6 months, and seeing what they did and overall what that brand is, it's fantastic. Then for my second pick here, I went with Careless Pandas and Renovadio. Not necessarily two brands that go together super well, but I think overall just an organization and a brand, if you could say it, that really enjoy what they do. They enjoy coaching each other. They enjoy playing together. Their logos are great. It's pretty solid. The names are fantastic, but really more often for the group of people that are there and what they do as a group there. So
okay. Back to me. My pick, I picked Instalock. I love the logo. I love the pun. I think that's a hilarious thing. I also happen to inherit Spare Change, which also has a really good logo. I love the little piggy bank and the whole concept there that this was kind of a spare change team. This was a team that Abe just kind of put together through his couch cushions, whatever. And I feel like I'm a big fan of the underdog, and I feel like Instalock and Spare Chains are both underdogs. No offense, Specs, but I feel like this brand as a whole will come together and do good things. I think they were just kind of meant to be together. So I like this brand.
I went with the Illusion Invictus brand, mainly because it's one of the most out there public brands for the Tranquility community. It's a big group now. It's 20 people across 2 rosters. It's a well-ran crew. It's a really good group of people. Like that's I think a key thing a lot of people don't realize is, like, don't be a douche, and generally people will like you, respect you, and probably a good thing. The don't be a douche rule is a really good rule, by the way. And Illusion Invictus basically have always followed that rule. Like, top to bottom, all those people are awesome. So yeah, Illusion Invictus definitely stands out for me as one of the top brands. Nick.
Chat, can we clip that, please? My next branding best brand was Commit. For me, it's how they've taken the Discord tier by storm. They have, I think, one of the top tier logos as well in the Discord tier, which for me is, let's face it, I mean, when we think of a brand, we always think of what their logo is. So that's one way to find out if a brand is on point or not. But Commit is just a solid brand overall.
Right, and you had the other end of the snake here, so you got the double.
Yeah, so Aimbots was my snake pick on that. Again, I really like their logo. Wait, Zuby, what? Not biased on logos because it used to be yours. What? Oh yeah, okay. We don't talk about that, Zuby. Aimbots is mine. I think they've been here as well a long time. They've had their runs in the community. They've got a solid group of players as well, solid group of people this season. I think they're also trying to rebrand their Twitter page as well, which again, for me, I know it's not necessary, but having a good brand helps when you have the social media presence.
All right, next, go ahead with me here, and I picked Boop. Now I know we've talked a lot of shit about Boop, which is almost a funny phrase. I really like the concept. The name is great. Boop. Just love it. The logo is cool. I like the logo. And I like people like Grace. I like Alayla. They're good people. They're really good people, guys. It sucks that they haven't really been able to get any success this season, but I really like the Boop band. And they're making some changes. Don't poop on Boop, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Boop's the only team in the tournament that has their own voice line on not one but two heroes.
True,
So
that's true.
I mean, all right. So my pick was Jetpack Cats. I picked Jetpack Cats. I love the logo and I love the people. I love Cinnamon and Melts and Liv and Boot and Blue and all those guys. I also, because I picked Jetpack Cats, I also got Otaku and I got the new and improved, freshly overhauled Otaku. I would have taken the old Otaku too. Season 2 Otaku, Jet, Yojak. It just. The Otaku is a great brand. It's funny. They've got the what is it, Dragon Ball Z head. I'm not a weeb. I don't know these things. They got all these anime chats, and it's just a fun server to be in. I don't know if you've ever been in their Discord server, but there's a lot going on in there. Otaku is a very big brand, and so the Jetpack Cats bring a lot of positivity, and Otaku brings a lot of whatever weebs do. I don't know, but I like both of those brands.
You just offended like 3/4 of the server. You know that, right?
I do.
Lots of gamers are weebs.
Let's double down. Anime is trash.
Ho ho!
All right,
Specs, I agree on something. I don't know what this
All right,
is.
does anybody-
Add the spice just to add the spice.
Anybody want to ban Specs from the podcast? Let me know. So, Specs, it's your turn.
All right, yeah. So my next pick here, I'd probably hear it if I didn't pick this. So I went with Sugar Rush. Good God.
Chat. Sorry.
So yeah, I went with Sugar Rush here. Going back to the group of people, obviously playing with them for a season, know them in and out, and just overall great group of people there. Their logo, I'll be completely honest, not a fan of. But that group of people and what they're doing and how they enjoy playing the game and just overall what they bring to the community, I think is great, even though it's not always seen with them. Huge fan of them. And then for my last pick here, I ended up going with Eclipse. Again, same reason. A lot of people that have been around in the community from the start. I really enjoy their logo too. Huge fan of what they're doing, and I really see them as a team that's up and coming. Even though that's kind of not the criteria here, but the people there have been around forever, and really thought they were a great pick there.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of teams that have been around forever, I picked Alt F4 and DDoS. I picked this primarily just to conflict with Specs. I mean, that's kind of my job here. But also, I believe in what they're doing. I think Alt F4 and DDoS, they've had a hard time at the beginning. But, looking at their schedule and looking at some of the changes they've made and look at some of the positivity that they've got, they're helping each other out. There's a lot of cross tier action going on Alt F4 and DDoS, trying to help each other out and do things. I feel like that's a very good brand. I also like the name Alt F4 and DDoS, and it's a very good mix of two things. And I like that brand. I think it's a good, solid brand.
All right, for me, it was pretty simple. I went with my favorite logo that hadn't been picked, and I picked those. Also, the name just makes me happy. Every time I hear the phrase mid.
Well, when you look at that logo, look at its eyes. Okay, you will never look at it the same way again.
No, I've
Just
looked at
throwing
it.
it out. I can't get it out of my head now. I can't unsee it.
No, I know. I see it when I close my eyes. I see it when I wake up. It tells me to burn things. Last is Nick.
Yeah, so my last pick was Holy Jalapenos. They have an insane logo. I From the moment that logo was introduced, like I loved it. They have also got a really good group of people. Beth has made a really solid team there and just a solid group of players.
All right. That's the end of the Mount Rushmores today, guys. Last look here at the best brands. NPC with Meteors, Comets, Instalux, Spare Change, Jetpack Cats and Otaku, and Alt F4 versus DDoS, the pile of affiliates. I picked Harmony and Chaos and Potatoes, Illusion and Invictus, Boop and Minty Hippos, Nick with Karma and Tough Luck, Mint Aimbots and Holy Jalapenos, and Specs with Maelstrom, the Pandas, and Renovadio, Sugar Rush, and Eclipse. So that's the end of the Mount Rushmore segment today, guys. We do also want to show you guys now the comms check for week 5. Impers put this thing together in about 3 hours before he went on his vacation. Again, hands in the sky for Impers coming through with the amazing content for us. So everybody enjoy.
This is our game to win. I don't care if we win or lose. Just play your game. Taters on 3. 1, 2, 3. Taters.
Taters fly together.
God, I hate
There
all
we
of you.
go.
All right, we're starting.
I'm really uncomfortable.
This is a hostile working environment.
Try me now.
My God.
Focus, Ryan.
Davis, Sim left. Sim holding.
Oh, Hansel's main. I mean, sorry, backside, main house.
Lucia's one. Arrow, Lucio.
Hey, WP, let's go. Ursa.
Someone got a huge. Then you got a huge purple.
Purple nurples.
They're all low targeting. Talking. Ryan, listen.
I'm trying it.
It's winnable. Call.
Winnable. Just take.
Just take.
This one.
Do you think of Tim as my life's biggest bro moments?
I've not heard of that.
It's basically like this weird series where he's basically like just shit posting now because he got he got banned off Twitch and.
You mean to Pap and Zenu?
Yeah, that's the best.
Zenny Wenny. Ooh.
Zen goes well. All right.
KD.
I'm playing Bap, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Baba Yaga leaves team commit to free agency.
Nice.
Top left.
I have ult, so you don't have to engage too hard.
West Virginia.
Okay, I literally am in a bluegrass band. You guys can stop because I hate that two songs.
Stanky, this one's I dedicate this one to Stanky Pants.
I have heard some. Hey, you guys know Country Roads? No. Yeah, buddy.
And then they start singing it, and then all of a sudden you're like, you just can't control it. You just scream, West Virginia.
Like Sweet Caroline. Oh, we're C9.
No, we're not. Karma then did get proceeded to be taken home by Vitamin C 4-0. Thanks for everybody submitting the comms check stuff to Impers. We really do appreciate it. I know he does as well. Please continue to do that. It's one of my favorite segments that we get every week. So moving on now, guys, we obviously are going to talk here. The lighting keeps changing over there. It's confusing me. We're going to go talk about the International Meetup Day. There's a channel now devoted to that in the Discord. If you haven't looked at that at all now, guys, make sure that you do if you're interested in doing anything for the meetups. As far as I know right now, the locations that have confirmed things happening is SoCal. I believe Impers is running that. The Minneapolis meetup is kind of being ran by a combination of myself, Thug, and Sneaky. And then we also have another one here, which is the Chicago meetup, which currently doesn't have really anybody stepping into a leadership role for it, but Red Gear is helping run this. It's the Lakeside Showdown number 2. They ran this last season, and NPC, you were actually part of this.
That's right. Last year, there was only like 1 or 2 people here in Dallas, and we found a $50 flight to Chicago. So we both headed up to Chicago and joined those guys. We joined Red Gear and Gillimed and Abe came up from St. Louis. He's living in a different place now, so I don't think he's going to make it this year. There's a bunch of people that kind of came in. Light Rose came in, and we played in a LAN, and it was a lot of fun. I'm telling you, there's nothing more satisfying than winning a match and then high-fiving your teammates sitting right next to you. That was just the most incredible feeling. I would do it again, but we've got a lot more Dallas people this year, this season, so I may end up hosting something here in Dallas. But it was a great time. The Ignite Gaming Lounge is a great place. There's all these tables with like 8 to 10 computers in a little semicircle, and everybody just sits around and plays the game. And you win. You play on a LAN. It's not a LAN client. You're still playing on the web server, but everybody in the building connects to the same server and connects to the same, has the same ping. So it's not like you're on East Coast servers on the West Coast. So it's a very different experience playing on those high-end PCs.
Yeah, if somebody is interested in helping organize the team to go to that Chicago LAN, I know Gil has expressed that he's going to be at the Chicago location. Now Kingdom's also indicated that he's going to be at the Chicago location too, guys. So if we do have, it looks like Kingdom just said he's going to do it. So if you're interested in participating in the Chicago crew, talk to Kingdom. Looks like he'll get that organized, and there's going to be more than just the LAN, guys. The whole point is it's a big meetup, so you guys will probably hang out, go get food, go get drink.
Yeah, last year we went down to the Navy Pier. We hung out down there. We did the Ferris wheel. We took a boat tour of the River of Chicago, which is fantastic. We did all sorts of cool stuff together. We ate a bunch of pizza. There's a hot dog place that insults you. It's amazing. We had a great time.
And Triage is talking about now a DC meetup. Looks like Triage just volunteered to help organize that. So again, guys, these meetups are kind of happening organically. I know Toronto is potentially in the works now too, with Cav and Zuby kind of helping do that. Guys, there's a lot going on here. If you're interested in being involved in that, it's going to be on October 19th is the official meetup day. Obviously, if you guys are going to do anything else during that time, doesn't have to just be that day. Like I know Cryogenics is coming to the Minneapolis meetup more than likely, and he's going to fly up. So odds are he's going to be here for more than a day. So take the time, get to meet some of your players that you've been playing with and put faces to names. It's incredibly fun to just see people as part of this community. It really deepens the bonds we have and makes it even more special. So highly recommend, guys, getting the opportunity to do these things. It's really fun. It was definitely one of my favorite moments from season. So we'll pay attention, guys, to that stuff. We'll start to try to get those more organized as time goes on here. I'm going to want to try to get head counts well before the end of the month. So if you're interested in going to these things, start talking with people, start getting things organized. Moving on now, here is the next thing I want to talk about is the 3v3 elimination lockout tournament. We have a cap at 16 teams. We have 13 teams registered now. If you have not registered, you better hurry up. 3 spots remaining. No time to lose, guys. Get in. And last thing here is predictions. We are going to blaze through predictions today. Unfortunately, it was Labor Day weekend. I was on vacation because it was Labor Day weekend, and I have better things to do than put together tons and tons of graphics all the time. So we're going to blaze through these predictions here, guys. We have 14 matches to cut through with two teams on the buys this week. And we will start with Alta 4 Invictus in the feature match on Tuesday. NPC, go.
I went 3-1 Alta 4. I feel like Alta 4 is gonna they're coming together. I feel like Specs, come on. I feel like they're gonna do it. I feel like they're gonna do it. If this is the time to do it, now is your time. If you don't start winning soon, you're not gonna make the playoffs, and that's just gonna be bad. So get this win, guys. You could do it.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go next here. Make it short and sweet here. Invictus 4-0, easy clap.
All right, Nick.
Don't want to have some org bias, but I think Invictus takes this one 3-1.
I can't type. Trying to explain things to people right now. I went with Invictus in a dominating win. I think it's going to be a controlling victory for Invictus. I think Alta 4 has some serious problems. Aimbots, Infius.
I went Aimbots 4-0. Now, this was before I saw Infius's performance. Hopefully, aimbots can get their tech issues sorted out. The hurricane's not going to be a problem for a lot of them, but it just depends on how that all shakes out. I still feel like aimbots has the positivity they need to do well, and I believe that a team that has fun plays better. Infius definitely not a team to overlook anymore. I mean, we did get to see them play yesterday, but I still think it's going to be an aimbots victory.
I think one thing that kind of gets overlooked with having a feature match on Sunday is you have 2 days to prepare for your next week's match. I think that's going to come back and bite Infius in the ass a little bit here. I'm going to go take aimbots 3-1.
Sorry. Dealing with some stuff with Invictus with Booth. My bad, boys. I'm going aimbots 3-1. This was also before I saw how the Infius game played out. I still think aimbots edge it slightly. I think it's gonna be a close 3-1, but I still think aimbots edge the win.
Counterpoint to what you said, Specs, about the lack of script time. One thing I will say is momentum is a big thing. I think Infius got a nice jolt of momentum on Sunday. Really good showing in the feature match. They had fun. Very clear. They could be really feeling themselves right now. But aimbots is too good. It's going to be a 4-0 aimbots. Next, Tough Luck, Instalock, NPC.
I went 3-1 Tough Luck. I mean, Instalock, they got a couple of additions to their team. They made some roster switches. I feel like they're looking good, but Tough Luck is just on a roll. There's just nothing you can do to stop that.
I'm going to skip you, Specs. Nick.
Good call.
I went with the underdog pick. I went Instalock 3-2. Listen, Specs, I need the points, okay?
Okay. All right.
No, I think Instalock has what it takes. I think it's going to be a tough 3-2, but I think they can edge it out in the end.
I had Tough Luck 3-1 here. I think Tough Luck got a nice shot in the arm of momentum after the 4-0 against aimbots. I think people are going to stop talking about people in a negative way. I don't know if you guys knew, but they're literally one loss away from crumbling. Literally like 4 or 5 people about to leave the team. Not even kidding you. Like, too many egos. They'll never get it sorted out. Yeah, they've got it sorted out, guys. The memes are over. Tough Luck is here. One last ride in Otaku. NPC, go.
One last ride. I put it 3-1 over Otaku. Now, this was kind of also Otaku's not finding their footing. I mean, they did get the win over Harmony and Chaos. I feel like I believe in Otaku, but One Last Ride is proving themselves to be kind of a sleeper, and I don't want to overlook them anymore. So I went. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. It could go either way, but I had to pick a side, so I picked One Last Ride.
Yeah, I'm going to take One Last Ride here, 4-0. I think that's a team that is very, very solid, that has synergy that just Otaku can't match up with yet. They've been a team for 10 days at this point. I think it's going to be hard for that synergy to kind of come together, and One Last Ride are going to take it.
I went Otaku 3-2. I think their new roster looks really good. It's going to take some time for them to settle in, which is why I'm giving this one a 3-2. I think once they do settle in and play more, the wins are going to start getting a little bit more dominating than 3-2 wins.
I have One Last Ride 4-0. I think Otaku got a nice win last week, but I think One Last Ride is really yet to make a really big statement with their wins. Like, all their wins are close. I would like to see them just come out and crush a team, and I think this is the week they're going to do it. Renovadio and Sugar Rush.
I have Renovadio 3-1. Now, of course, this was without seeing Sunday night's match, but I'm still going to stick with it. Renovadio, pretty good team. Sugar Rush, trouble adapting to the Sigma meta and not running that Orisa Hog or Orisa Sigma. So I feel like Renovadio is going to have their number coming up in this match.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the Renovadio pick there. I'm going to take Renovadio 4-0 here. Kind of knowing the behind the scenes baseball with Sugar Rush. We always played well in feature matches last season, but that match right after that we didn't. And again, I think that really came down to just preparation, and I think Renovadio are going to have more prep time for this.
I went Sugar Rush 3-1. I keep saying Sugar Rush is top 5. They're a top team in Harmony tier, despite what Specs might think. Discord tier, yes, sorry. Despite what Specs might think. I think they win this 3-1 easily.
I went with Sugar Rush 3-1 as well. The DPS gave me too much to pass up, and the tank and it's gonna. Starting with NPC on Commit and Prodigious.
I went Commit 3-1. Prodigious, pretty good. Kaizen, top. Great team, great DPS, but Commit are just a solid team all around. I mean, I went 3-1 because I think Prodigious could maybe pull off a map, but it's going to be really tough. It's definitely going to be a Commit victory.
Yeah, they can't. It's going to be Commit 4-0. They're just scary.
Yeah, I agree with Specs on that one. Commit 4-0.
Commit 3-1. I think Prodigious pulls out one map. Backs of Kaizen and top, but it's just Commit's scary. They're scrimming 3.7 teams right now. Yeah. Moving on now. The final match in the Discord tier is Meteors taking on Harmony and Chaos. Harmony and Chaos looking for the big upset. Do you see it happening, NPC?
No, I see the Meteors going 4-0 here. Harmony and Chaos, they just took another hard loss. I'd like to see them get their first win of the season, but I just don't see it happening against Meteors.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to, does Harmony have their full team for the first time in a few weeks? Because they haven't. I think that's coming back to kind of bite them there. I have Meteors going 4-0.
Yeah, I have Meteors going 3-1. I think they'll steal a map if they have their full roster there. But other than that, I think Meteors, if the full roster is there, 3-1. If the full roster is not there, 4-0.
It's 4-0 Meteors, and that's the bottom one. Moving to Harmony tier now. Careless Pandas and Minty Hippos, NPC.
This one was a tough one for me. I like the Minty Hippos. I feel like they're doing well. And Careless Pandas, I feel like they played together a long time before they joined our tournament. And they started out really, really strong. But I think that they may have started kind of at their peak because they really haven't gotten that much better, while we're seeing other teams in Harmony tier get better and surpass the Careless Pandas just through the amount of play time they've got. All that being said, I think I'm still going Careless Pandas 3-1. I don't know if the Minty Hippos can really step up, but I certainly hope they do, and I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, I've been believing in the Hippos a little bit here as of late. I think this can be a very big statement win for them, and I have them taking it 3-2.
I have it 3-1 for the Pandas. I see the Hippos as a team that's going to win the games they have to win. I don't know if this is going to be the games that one of those games. Pandas are just, I think they're an edge above the Hippos in terms of caliber of play.
I think I had Hippos here 3-1. I think this is a statement win for the Hippos. It's gonna be their trademark win. I expect a Hippo. It's gonna be 3-1. It's gonna be a hard fought 3-1. Jetpack Cat Spare Change, NPC.
I almost put Jetpack Cats 4-0, but I went Jetpack Cats 3-1 over Spare Change. I like what Abe is doing. He's put together a team. He hasn't had too many roster changes in the past couple of weeks, so I feel like playing together a little bit, they're going to be able to take a map. But Jetpack Cats, they're just really strong. They've been playing together. They've got a lot of synergy. They're going to take that map.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jetpack Cats 3-1 as well. I think Spare Change are starting to get there, but again, I think they need another week, and we've been saying that for a little while. Just starting to get concerned with them with that a little bit. But Jetpack Cats 3-1.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Specs on that. They're a good team. Spare Change is a really good team. They got good pieces, but it's just taking a lot longer than I expected or I hoped that it would for them to find their footing. While not Sugar Rush, I don't know why I'm messing up the name so hard this week. I'm sorry. While Jetpack Cats are just looking to continue to climb.
I went Jetpack Cats 4-0. Abe will be canceled out by Melts, and Abe is the best thing Spare Change has. So, moving on now. Holy Jalapenos, Vitamin C. Go ahead, NPC.
I went Jalapenos 3-1. I feel like Vitamin C, they're a great team. They really are, but they gotta stop Johnny Robot on the Doomfist. And like I said before, I feel like Vitamin C's plays are predictable. If you watch enough of their VODs and you watch none of their matches, you can see their patterns. You can see they're predictable. You can make them predictable. And if you can predict what they're going to do, you can counter it. And I feel like Jalapenos can do exactly that.
Yeah, I don't think predictability is necessarily bad. I think though that Holy Jalapeno they have a coach that's gonna find that, exploit that, and they're really gonna be able to play their strengths. I think Holy Jalapenos take a 3-1.
I think Vitamin C takes it 4-0.
4-0.
4-0. Not a slight on the jalapenos. I think each map's going to be close. I think Vitamin C is just looking really, really good right now.
I picked Vitamin C too. I think Holy Jalapenos are going to be a very big push, and very well might win it. They're playing extremely well as a team right now. But I think Vitamin C taps them up. Undead Battery versus NPC.
I think this is Battery's week. I think this is it. This is the 4-0. This is the week they get it. Both of these teams have had to rebuild, right off the bat at the beginning of the season, and have had some roster changes here and there. But I feel like both of the teams are coming into their own. But it's hard for me to pick. But I picked Undead Battery. I feel like they just have the better DPS duo. They have a better tank duo, and they got better support.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with you with the battery pick. I think it's gonna be 3-2, and I think it's gonna be a very close match that is actually gonna be pretty great to watch in the end. I think Boops really start to put it together this week, and come next week, they're definitely gonna be swinging for the fences there.
I have Boop winning this one 3-2. I think this is going to be the game where Boop finally gets that win. Undead Battery still seem to be struggling a little bit. No slight on them; they have good individual players, but I think Boop is really putting in the hours and the work to prep for this match and to get that win.
I went with Undead Battery in a 3-2. I think Boop is figuring things out right now, and I think Boop should be feared a little bit now. This is a team to watch right now for sure. But Undead Battery takes this one 3-2. Comets Fighting Potatoes. Go ahead, NPC.
I go Comets 3-2. Fighting Potatoes just can't win control maps, so I think that's gonna be the deciding factor. The Comets are rebuilding. I didn't even see their new roster when I made this prediction, but I just feel like the Fighting Potatoes, it could go either way. The Fighting Potatoes are going to be a tough match for the Comets, but I feel like the Comets can pull it out.
Gonna completely agree with NPC there. I think Comets to end up taking this 3-2 for the fact that Fighting Potatoes just can't win control maps, and that's something that we as Instalock can't do either. So kind of know the struggle there and how much it sucks, but I think this is also going to be a very interesting game to watch.
I have the Potatoes winning 3-1. I think the fact that Comets might be finished the rebuild right now, but the playtime and the synergies aren't built up yet with those newly added players. So I think the fact that the Potatoes have been playing together for quite some time now helps them take this 3-1.
I'm in the same boat there as Nick. I went 3-1 Potatoes. I just don't think the Comets are fully there yet. I haven't gotten much wind about who their updated roster is, but I trust that core. But at the same time, anytime you add new players, there's time it takes to build synergy. The Fighting Potatoes had more time. And obviously, the both Gamstree and Kai are going to make a big difference. So I have Potatoes 3-1. Illusion and DDoS.
I have Illusion 3-1. I believe in DDoS. I predicted them before. I said Alta 4 was going to take Invictus, but I think Illusion's gonna have the win over DDoS. DDoS added a couple of players. I think that's gonna change things, but Illusion has been playing together as a unit for a long time, and I feel like Illusion has the synergy they need, just like what you said about the Fighting Potatoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Illusion 4-0 here. For the fact of what NPC just said right there, I think they've made some roster changes, and it's gonna take a while for that to really click. I think Illusion take this pretty easily in the end.
I'm gonna pass it over to Yeti.
I went Illusion 3-1. I think Illusion's just in too good of a spot. I think DDoS is making some good changes, making some positive changes. Just not going to be enough. Illusion's 1-3-1. Last match is the feature match next Sunday. Is Team Karma taking on the Pacified Pythons. NPC, go ahead.
I'm saying Karma 4-0. Pacified Pythons have yet to actually find a roster that lasts more than 3 weeks. Maybe even more than 2 weeks. I just don't see them getting together the synergy that they need. Karma's gonna 4-0 this, and if you don't, just uninstall the game, because I don't see how you can't.
Yeah, this is as much of a layup as it gets. I'm gonna even push it farther than what NPC was saying there. Have they have a roster that lasts more than 5 days? I think this is a very easy 4-0 for Karma.
I agree with both of the previous statements. I'm not going to add more to that. 4-0.
No comment. That's the end of the podcast today, guys. The end of the predictions. I am going to air the other commercial that NPC put together for
It was
us.
supposed to happen at the
It was
beginning.
supposed to be happening at the beginning, but I am.
So it doesn't make sense now, but
I am
whatever.
indeed the king of scuff. But it is an important thing to keep in mind there. Pay attention to what's being said, because it is a very, very nice thing that is happening. A nice little sale. So, with that being said, signing off right now. Kiefer Yeti, NPC, Specs, and Nick. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Experience tranquility.
Hello? Oh, hey, Felix. What's up, my doggy? Yeah, I got a couple of minutes. I'm just about to do the podcast. Yeah, you've been in Texas a while now. How do you like it so far? Yeah, it's hot, for sure. Definitely warmer than the Great White North. The podcast? Oh, yeah, it's a weekly recap show for our tournament. Oh, you've seen it? Yeah. Yeah, I do your salute at the end of every... Yeah, okay, yeah. How do you get a shirt? Oh, you mean like the shirts I wear on the podcast? Oh, okay, so that's official Tranquility merch. You can get them at shop.spreadshirt.com/OW Tranquility. You can also type !store in the Twitch chat for... Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you a little secret, though. Don't tell anybody else. But basically, you can build your cart today. You can put whatever shirt you want in there. But don't check out until Wednesday or Thursday of this coming week. That's right, September 4th and 5th. Yeah, that's the one. So there's a promo code for 20% off. If you get a pen... All right, you got a pen? Okay. The code is anything20. Anything20. It's 20% off. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's 20% off one item or 20% off your whole cart. I'm not sure. I mean, if it's 20% off your whole cart, I'm going to buy 5 shirts for the price of 4. Yeah, exactly. All right. Listen here, Felix. I got to run. Podcast is about to start. Good talking to you, my man. We'll meet up soon. All right. Sounds good. All right.